obviously, all these tensions and geopolitical tensions, they are reflected in the energy prices. In particular, this last escalation, what we see, this aggression of Russia onto Ukraine. But together, on top of this, we do have also the prolonged supply bottlenecks problems. We do have, so to say, all other issues. So, of course, this brings upside risk to the inflation. And I think this is the point here, that this upside risk, they materialize. And the last revision of ECB projections, like substantial revision, the biggest revision ever made in December last year for 2022, it's also a good reflection of the uncertainty. And even if we do have or we expect normalization of inflation in 2023 or 2024, actually it's normalizing to the levels close or around 2%. This is where the ECB monetary policy target is. But there is uncertainty around this as well. And there are possible various scenarios. But largely or broadly, to answer your question, we do have an upside risk on the inflation.
Well, your colleague, Robert Holtzman, was speaking to a Swiss newspaper and said that actually he could see raising interest rates this summer, potentially before the end of the ECB's asset purchase program. Clearly, that's in conflict with the sequencing that the ECB has outlined thus far. But I wonder, given your comments around inflation and the upside risk materializing now, whether that sequencing makes sense to you, raising rates before the end of asset purchasing.
I would have a couple of points on this. So firstly, we are data-driven, forward-looking decision makers. And this is very much important. What data at the decision-making moment we do have at our hands, and should be reliable, it should be objective, and it should fit our criteria. So this is one thing. So let's wait for March and when the decisions are to be taken, and then let's see what data we do have at that particular moment. What also matters, this is our forward guidance. We also should be a credible institution. And what's in our forward guidance, that we do implement asset purchase programs, and we end it shortly before we start interest rate hike. So I understood, and I'm open to all and flexible to all the scenarios of the inflation dynamics, but with that high uncertainty, we should wait for the data and see what's happening exactly at the moment when decisions are taken, and then we should kind of talk about this at that moment.